Hello and welcome again to another episode of Truly Happy One. I'm Eric Calugdan. Together with us is Sir Enrico Garcia. I used to be an IT consultant for Unisys and then put up my own business called Infotext. And I'm also the CIO for Philpax and CTO for Sante. You can call me a serial entrepreneur. Sir Enrico used to be the retail operations manager of Shell and then became the country manager of Herbalife, and then after that became the director of operations of Avon and one of the board of directors of the Direct Selling Association of the Philippines. Now he is a mindset coach and the director for international operations of Sante. And few months back, no, kinausap ako ni Sir Enrico. Sabi niya, Eric, puro bad news na lang naririnig natin. Well, lalo na ngayon, di ba? Recent months na mahigit 10,000 yung positive COVID cases. So aside from listening to those bad news, no, because of this COVID pandemic, ano pa yung pwede nating gawin to encourage naman our kababayans, no, our fellow Filipinos? So we have come up with Truly Happy One. So welcome to Truly Happy One, where we discuss how do you become truly happy as a Filipino or one. We do this every Saturdays at 5 p.m. via Facebook Live and YouTube Live. No? So if I were you, I'd put it in my calendar already. Saturdays 5 p.m. repeat every Saturday, no, na to tune in to Truly Happy One. And dito sa Truly Happy One, we discuss world-class Pinoy excellence, no, to encourage you and guide you how to be world-class. Ayan. So, before we start our main topic for today, please let us know where you are watching from. If you're watching from Mandaluyong, type in the comment section, watching from Mandaluyong. If you're watching from Europe or I don't know, Dubai, type nyo din sa YouTube chat, watching from Dubai. So we'll know up to where yung ating broadcast. Also, you can send in your questions or feedback during our discussion and we'll try to answer them during the webinar. And please feel free to like, comment, tag your friends in the comment sections of Facebook, no, especially those you think will be helped by this topic natin on 3 ways to earn income, yung Plan A or Plan B or Plan C. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just below there, yung red button ng subscribe. It's for free, so you can just click on subscribe, no, and don't miss our future episodes. Ayan. Magnus Soder is watching us, Sir Enrico. Sabi niya, looking forward to this. Thanks for the information, gentlemen. Wash hands. Sorry. Saan nga ba galing si Magnus?
He is from Finland.
Yon, Finland. Yes. Sir Gabi Dadivas, happy Easter daw. Eric, Sir Enrico. Oh, Sweden.
Oh,
Magnus is from Sweden.
Sweden now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Wonderful. Thank you.
Work from home, watching from home.
Wow. Thank you, Gab.
WFH is also watching from home. Ayan. Okay, so our topic for today is about 3 ways to earn income, no? Or Plan ABC. So let me just share my screen. Ayan. So Sir Enrico, if you have any questions, just feel free to ask the questions anytime while we do the presentation.
Ayan. Sure, Eric.
Okay, so 3 ways to earn income. So let's discuss the first way to earn income. This graph is my invention. So yung vertical axis or the y-axis shows you the amount of effort and the amount of time, no, that you put in this plan, and yung x-axis is yung time, no? So it's the amount of effort and income over time. So Plan A is about employment. So if you're watching us and you are employed right now, type in nyo rin sa comment section Plan A or A, no, or chat sa YouTube A, no, para let's see if you can relate to this graph. Okay? So si Sir Enrico, most of his life, di ba, is Plan A. Tama ba, Sir Enrico?
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
I've been, Plan A. Yeah, most
of the time, yes. So Plan A. So first is when you begin your employment, no, you have very little effort and yung income mo is what you have agreed during the interview, of course, no, and usually it's more than the effort that you put, no, your first few months while you are employed kasi you're reporting to your direct pa lang, do, and wala masyadong work, they're just orienting you, 'di ba? Tinuturo pa lang sa'yo ano yung mga kailangan gawin. Pero over time, no, the workload, which is the red line, no, the workload increases. And when the workload increases, the pay can also increase. No, that's what you call regularization. Diba? So you get
Right.
regularized. So from probation, you get regularized, and then nagmamatch na yung effort that you put in doon sa income that you get from the company. And then over
Right.
time, maybe a year, no, or more, maswerte ka na, no, kung you get what we call the promotion. 'Di ba? Tama ba,
Right.
sir? Lahat ba ng
Yes.
mga nasa plan A, standard 'yun na every year napo-promote or hindi?
Oh, not necessarily on the promotion. In
Mhm.
fact, what you want is at least every year there's a merit increase, a salary increase
Hmm.
based on performance. Okay,
Mhm.
that would be usual per year. Okay, but
'Yun yung usual.
but promotion doesn't necessarily. It may not, but not yearly, because that's
Mhm.
something that obviously is linked to the plan for you, your performance. So I wouldn't say it's every year.
Yeah, so you're lucky if you get it every year,
Oh
right?
yes, extremely. Yes, extremely.
Yeah. Oh, Basil Bolinao is watching us, and also Erlangberg from Oslo.
Oh,
Wow, best regards,
wow.
Irish and myself. Wow, hello.
Wow.
Thank you for watching.
Hello,
International
Erland. Yeah.
tayo ngayon, kaya medyo kailangan mag-English-English.
Yes,
Okay.
speak in English.
So
Yeah.
so there will be a time, no, when you get promoted, yes, you get a bump in your income, but as Spider-Man says, the more income, the more responsibility, di ba? So it happens that your effort or your responsibilities is now more than the income that you get, no, more than your salary, more than your pay, di ba? Now, there are certain instances that you need to go overtime, di ba? Sometimes one night, especially April 15, no? Just a few days back, especially for mga accountants, di ba? Our deadline for taxes is April 15. It wasn't moved even if we had the ECQM, ECQ.
Right.
Um, you need to do overtime, no? So it takes a lot of effort. Pero if you check your salary, the bump is not really equal, no? So overtime pero yung income very slight lang yung bump. Meron siyang cap, di ba? Even if you
Right.
work 24 hours a day for the next 30 days, di ba? Do you think, sir, you will have more salary than the president of the company?
Two answers. First, you can never
Uh-huh.
earn more than the president, right?
Yes.
Number
Uh-huh.
two is no, especially if you're no longer rank and file. There's no overtime, right? So if you're a
Yes.
manager, you don't even qualify for overtime. So yes, to your point, you are putting in much more effort, and of course, there is no increase in salary.
Mm-hmm.
You do
Correct.
that, and you hope that later on that gets noticed, so that you can eventually get promoted. So you don't get the returns now. It's like an
Correct.
investment you make for future. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And it happens for a very long time. No? So if you ask
Yes.
people who have been in the Plan A model, most of them tell you no, they are overworked and underpaid,
Paid.
right? So you can
Yes.
interview them, especially those who have been working for more than 10 years. No, is it really true? Ayan, Sir Enrico, what can you say
Yes.
about that?
Yes. You reminded me that I started at the lowest level in the oil company, and it took 5.5 years for me to move up just to the next level. Now, some people do that faster. Some people, maybe about the same time and longer. But in my particular case, 5.5 years of solid, I mean, putting in all the effort. And the promotion was not to manager; it was just an assistant, assistant level.
Okay,
So
okay.
it was wow. And you're right. Yeah, the increase. I wouldn't really call it for if you match the effort for all of that. The increase was I'm even ashamed to share it, but anyway. Tit- Title wise, okay.
Oo,
You got
not
promoted.
enough.
Yeah.
Yes, no? And what happens is that for every employment, there's no forever. Di ba? There
Oh,
comes a point wherein you retire. Di ba? So sa Philippines, ilang years old po yun, sir, ngayon?
well,
60,
Philippines 5, I believe. Yeah, it used to be
65.
60. It used to be
Mm-hmm.
60. I believe they extended it. Again, I could be wrong, but 65, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
mandatory retirement. So
Yes. So
at that point, yeah,
so at 65 you stop working. So the effort
yes,
you put in that company or that employment is now zero. Now the
yeah,
problem is your income also
zero.
goes to zero, no? And there are parang separation packages or pension,
Yes,
'di ba, in some companies, not all. So you're very fortunate if you have that, pero that will always be very small, no? Not enough to sustain your lifestyle before you retired. Tama ba, Sir
cor-
Enrico?
correct. And nice point to raise. And I know this from experience because you get used to a certain lifestyle. Certainly, if even if especially if you've gone up the ranks, there are perks and benefits in the corporate world you start enjoying. Now the problem is you get used to that. So when you retire, you no longer enjoy those perks and benefits that were being paid for by the company. So
Mhm.
one of two things: you bring your lifestyle down because you're now paying for that, or if you want to match that lifestyle, you have to find a way to manage the retirement money that you got, right?
Correct.
And if you will deplete it much faster.
Correct. And most of the people also, the biggest problem, no, is that they live more than they earn. Diba? They borrow money. That's why they get a lot
Right.
of mga credit card debt just to ano to, keep up with the Joneses. Diba? Their lifestyle is way above this green line, so they borrow money, and then when that retirement time comes, that's the biggest problem. The income drops, pero their lifestyle is still here above the green line. Diba? That's a very big problem. Diba? So what happens now? Uh, Also, if you look at yung timing, no, it's 65 years old. From 65 years old onwards, that's the time that you need more money or more funds because that's the time that you need mga medicines, regular checkups. Tama ba, Sir Enrico? Wow, mukhang Sir Enrico
And keep
hanged.
that lifestyle. Yeah.
Ayan, okay. Yes, ayan. So, next is Plan B. Oh, Nia Galpan is watching us from London. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Niam. She's a
Erland is
colleague.
from Norway.
Norway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Nia
Sir
is a
Gabby
colleague.
said,
Yeah.
sometimes rank and file overtime pay sums up larger than a percentage pay increase for supervisors that has no overtime pay. Hindi
Yes.
masyado na.
Yes. No,
Ah.
because if you're rank and file, you can keep filing overtime. So overtime is a higher rate. Okay, of course on a lower
Mm,
base. But
mhm.
yes, that can happen because, like I said, as a supervisor, you're not entitled to overtime. So if the rank and file keeps filing overtime almost every day, there could be a situation where that overtime pay could even be bigger than the percentage increase if you got promoted to supervisor. So
Ah.
it depends also on the pay grade, what company, but that can happen, yeah. And I've seen that happen too. Yeah.
Yes. Ayan. Somebody, Facebook user said, hello there, two gorgeous guys. Hello.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank
I
you. Thank
Eric,
you. Okay.
Eric,
Yes, sir.
I wanted to comment also another, again, please, to our audience, don't get us wrong. This is, work. We've been conditioned to, create wealth this way. I'm a product of that myself, and really, all we're talking about here is, the pros and cons. And Eric will get to the other plans. And really, a lot of people, they probably know this. It's just that, maybe they just got so used to this, and this is what we're trying to do, to let people know that in our world today, there is so much available to you to eventually get to the plan C that Eric will talk about. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that now, and I just want to put that out there so it's clear to everybody. we're not saying that working is not good. It has its perks, but it clearly also has its limitations, right? So back to you,
Yes.
Eric.
Actually, I also started no sa plan A. After graduating, I immediately started working for a company, no? And that's plan A. And that's what I realized as well, no? That you get promoted, pero more responsibility, more raise, you do overtime, pero yung overtime it's not enough yung compensation to do that. And if you interview those who have retired, their experience is that yeah, no, they don't work anymore for the company, so the effort goes down. The problem is the income also goes down, 'di ba? Right at
Right,
that time when you needed more money. Ayan. Si Tita Lery
right.
pala yon kanina. Sabi niya, gorgeous
Oh,
guys.
thank
Hello, Tita
you.
Lery.
Hi, Larry. Good
Ayan,
to see
hello
you
po.
here. Thank you. Yeah,
Yes. Okay, so
yeah.
let's go to plan B. Well, by the way, as Sir Enrico mentioned as well, no, plan A is what we have been programmed no since childhood. And that's what our parents told us, 'di ba? Study hard so that when you graduate, you work for a big company and retire after 40 years, no? The usual
Correct.
speech of our parents because
Correct.
that is also what their parents told them and their
Correct.
parents told them. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's parang programming from the industrial revolution, but we are way over already the industrial revolution. We're now in the information or big data revolution, right? So
Correct.
kailangan yung lifestyle natin and the way we earn money should also change, right?
Right.
Okay,
Right.
next, plan B. So sometimes people ask you, if you're an employee, no, do you have a plan B? Especially in ganitong pandemic, di ba? You have to look for a different option of earning an income. Do you have a plan B? No? So plan B is self-employment, which is what I did. No? So I've been employed in one multinational company for 1 year since so graduation, and then worked as a plan A employee for 1 year. And then right after 1 year, I put up my own business, which is yung Infotex nga, and that is what I call my plan B, which is self-employment. Plan B also includes mga professionals, no, like doctors, dentists, lawyers, di ba? That they are paid based on the effort and time that they give, no, to the business or to their profession. Now, the big difference between plan A and plan B is that the effort and income graph or lines in the beginning is exactly the opposite, di ba? You have a lot of effort to put into that, pero the income is almost nothing. No? Sometimes zero or negative because you have to borrow money as a capital for this self-employment business that you have put up. No? So it's very far from the very comfortable plan A. So plan B is not so comfortable unless that you're really sure that this is your passion, this is your business. Diba? So that's why a lot of people are not comfortable jumping from plan A to plan B. But the advantages of plan B, well, not yet at this point, because at this point, this is what I call the startup period. You have a lot of effort that you put in the business, but the income is low. No, this can happen for the first 3 months or the first 6 months, no, depending on the business that you put in or profession that you are in. And over time, when you put more effort, what's good about Plan B is that income follows. Diba? The more effort you put, the more income you get. Okay, and there comes a point, no, wherein you become very successful in your business, that the more effort you put, the income is equal or more than the effort that you put, di ba? Tama, sir Enrico?
Right. Yeah. Can I just quickly comment?
Yes,
Yeah.
sige, sir.
So you know this very well, and what Eric's trying to share here is that for most businesses, let's just cut across all the businesses, there is that period, and that could be months, it could be years. Okay, where you're
Yeah, from
putting in
startup to
more.
success. Mm.
Right, you're putting in more to just think of a franchise. If it takes 4 years for payback, you're putting in all that effort. You haven't made money. You're only going to recover your money after 4 years. But after that, then depending on which business, you can have much more. This is the term they say. You can start to write your own paycheck at that point. In other words, you can pay yourself whatever you want when you've gotten to that point.
Yes. And for those who are in plan A and then transition to plan B, that could be the point wherein they tell you you can already fire your boss. No,
Right. Right.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So you can already jump no and go full time in this self-employment when your effort is now equal to your income or below your income, di ba? Now, the disadvantage naman in plan B is next is there. No, when you go on a vacation, let's say you go on a 2 week vacation, for example, or a 1 month vacation, of course, you cannot put effort in that business or that profession. Like if you're a dentist, for example, diba? You're a dentist and then you go on a vacation for a month, of course, you cannot meet clients kung saan ka nagbabakasyon, di ba? So what happens is that your income also goes down. So your income always follows your effort, especially in this self-employment model, right? Now that
Right.
one can be planned. That's why some people who are self-employed, they only go on vacation once a year or once every other year because they know that whenever they go on vacation, their income drops. So they save up for a year or for 2 years and then they go on vacation because they know that when they go on vacation, income just drops. Di ba?
Right.
Now that's
Right.
a little manageable, di ba? Because you're expecting it and you're planning for it and you're saving up for it. The problem is when unexpected things happen. For example, you get sick. Especially ngayon, 'di ba, with the COVID situation. Once you
Right.
become positive for COVID, minimum is 2 weeks isolation, right? So
Right.
that means 2 weeks you cannot go to your clinic. You cannot go practice your legal practice, 'di ba? Or you cannot do your usual work in your self-employed business. So that is 2 weeks away from your business or from your profession and 2 weeks worth of income lost, 'di
Right.
ba? So
Right.
that's the biggest problem with plan B. And I have been in plan B for most of my career, no? And I have realized that as well. Buti na lang hindi ako masyadong nagkakasakit. So managed yung mga drops in income because of sickness. Di ba? So when I realized that income follows your effort in plan B, I've been searching for another way of earning income and that is plan C. Di
Yeah.
ba?
Can
Pero
we?
before
Yeah.
we go to plan C, sige
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. So Eric, like you, we've known each other. That's why it's very challenging to take yourself out of your business, right? For something
Yes.
else, because it's directly proportional to you being there. You cannot take yourself out of the equation. Like a doctor,
Correct.
if you're
Yeah.
not in your clinic, then you don't have patients that you're seeing. Lawyers the same. So
Mhm.
that's the only challenging part there, where you cannot, if you remove yourself or you go out to do other things, then your income goes with it. It
Yes.
drops as well, right? And that's why their challenge is normally people who are employed. Oh, how can I take a vacation? Yeah, I've earned money, but I don't have the time to enjoy the money. That's a recurring
Correct.
theme. Would you say, Eric, even in your
Yes,
case?
yes. Correct, Sir Enrico. Then
Oh,
that always happens, especially if you're self-employed nga, no? And some people call it yung active income, 'di ba? Yung income mo is proportional to how active you are in that business, no, or profession. So next is you can once you're already well, no, you're not sick anymore, you can work on it again, no? And the good thing about self-employment is when you work on it again, income also goes
can
up, 'di ba? It
right,
always follows the effort that you put in your business or your profession. But for how long? For how long will you do that? 'Di ba? That's the next
right,
question. What's next? What if your children doesn't like that business or your children doesn't like that profession, 'di ba? How what's next after that? After plan B, 'di ba?
right,
So,
Eric. Eric,
yes,
you
sir.
said a very sorry. I'll interject. You said something
Mhm.
really nice. I know of. I personally know this family. They used to have a bank, but obviously it was now the third generation, and none of the third generation were interested. Nobody
Mm.
wanted to run the bank, so they ended up selling it because
Mm.
nobody in the third generation would take it. So that's what you were saying. Yeah. Obviously,
Correct.
the next generations, that may no longer be their interest. They might be interested in something else.
Yeah, they might
So
have their own plan A
ri-
or plan B.
right, right.
Yes. So the next plan is, yeah, let's go to plan C, which is our goal. No? So I have been plan A for a year, and then I've been in plan B for ano ba, 2000, more than 15, more than 16 years. No, I've been in plan B for more than 16 years, and just recently now in plan C. Okay. So plan C, how does plan C work? It's very similar to plan B, which is in the beginning, you have to put in a lot of effort, right? You have to build your business or build your plan C, okay? And when you put on more effort, the income also increases. That point, you still build your plan C, no? And there comes a time similar to plan B, wherein your effort is now equal to your uh, income, right? So itong time from the first build to the third build, or to that point where your income and your effort is equal, it depends on what plan C you have decided. Diba? There are some plan Cs that will take you 6 months, maybe, if you really put all in your effort, no, your time in that plan C. Sometimes 1 year, sometimes 2 years. But then again, plan C is worth it. No, kahit gaano pa katagal yung kailangan to reach that point wherein your income is now equal your effort. Why? Because plan C, when you reach that point, yung third build, no, it's like pushing a big rock on top of a mountain, di ba? When you're already at the top of the mountain, the next push will just be parang one hand push na lang. No more effort. It will just roll down the mountain by itself, di ba? So when you go on a vacation, your effort goes down dito sa plan C, but look at the green line. Look at the income level. It did not follow. It's still at that level. It's still at that income level, right? It did not follow even if you go on vacation, right? And then after the vacation, it even goes up. Di ba? It happens, di ba, sir? In this plan C.
Yes.
Now, you go on a vacation and for maybe 1 month tour of Europe, for example, di ba? And then when you go back to the Philippines, when you check your bank account, it actually increased. It was not decreased, di ba? That is plan C. And that is
Yeah.
our goal. How do you look for the perfect plan C for yourself? Yes, sir,
Yeah.
Enrico?
Yeah, Eric, question. So, for the benefit of our audience, yeah, this is nice, and maybe we can talk about what are examples of Plan C that allow this to
Yes.
happen. Right? I can go on vacation, take myself out of the equation, and yet my income remains the same or even grows, as you have pointed out. Maybe you can. What examples, Eric, can we give
Yes.
of Plan
If
C?
you like to know examples of Plan C, type in the comment section Plan C, or chat there in YouTube Plan C. Yeah, just type it Plan C and we'll mention it later. So another good thing about Plan C, no, is that in cases wherein you get sick again, diba? You haven't planned about it, you get sick. So again, your effort in Plan C goes down, but look at your income, it's still up there. Di ba? So you don't need to put that much effort anymore, no? Especially when you reach this point wherein your income is already in autopilot. It's already flying in autopilot, di ba? You can put
Right.
on more effort, and with more effort, your income also increases, no? And you can already retire, no? You can just put a little effort na lang, but your income still goes up, no? And the good thing is it is up to infinity, right? So if you like
Yeah.
plan C, yeah, type plan C. Ayan. So the question now is, which one would you prefer? Plan A, plan B, or plan C? Kayo, sir, what would you prefer?
Well, obviously, I mean, from with before we discuss it's Plan C clearly, and maybe for some people they're in Plan A and a bit of B, and in our times, it's. Would you agree, Eric? It may be possible to do a Plan A, B, C, but of course, it.
Yes.
Would you? I mean, because you're in
It's
plan B,
possible.
obviously.
It's
Yeah.
possible, yes. Actually, you can have combinations of plan A and B and C. Ako, for example, I have all plan A, B, C. So I am employed as a consultant. So that's plan A. I also still have my own business, which is Infotex. That's plan B. And I also have plan C, which we will
Okay.
discuss in the next slide. Yeah, Magnus is interested in plan C. He said plan C. And also Sir
Thank
Gabby
you,
said
Mag.
niya, plan C. Yeah, network marketing question mark. Okay, so let's see
Okay.
what is plan C. Okay, so what can be plan C? It can be different items actually. Though one is a big business like McDo, for example, or Jollibee, di ba? Or ano pa bang mga
Franchisor.
franchises?
Franchisor.
Mang Inasal, di ba? Mga franchisor, di
Right.
ba? So you have a big business wherein there is already a system that you don't need to put much time, no? Pero your income is continuously increasing. 'Di ba? So
Yeah.
what happens is you put on leverage by hiring other people. So you get people, 'di ba, who will be in plan A so that you can have your plan C. 'Di
Right.
ba?
Maybe
So
if
if
I
you
can give
look
an
at the big
example.
picture. Sige sir, sige
Right.
sir.
Right. Eric's referring to like franchise, like a McDonald's being the franchisor.
Mhm.
So the way you leverage off other people's time and money is you sell them the franchise. So the franchisee in exchange buys that a proven business system that delivers profit. So the franchisor McDonald's is able to leverage off the franchisees around the world. So when people are flipping burgers all around the world, a percentage of that is going to him, passive income. So that's one plan C. But the drawback, though, and Eric, I'll say this so we can have the
Mhm.
conversation, is
Yes.
this requires huge money, huge capital,
Correct. Correct.
but you can grow it, yes, and can be
Yes.
your source of passive income.
Correct. So if you choose a big business to be your plan C, then yung first three builds, diba? When you look at the graph of plan C, you have the build, build, build in the first phase of your plan C. Then that could be talagang saving up for millions of pesos to just get that franchise that you're dreaming of. Then because that's your plan C, diba? So that is what you can do if that's what you want, diba? Next is rental income, right? So you rent out a five-door apartment, a condo unit. No, it can be short term, long term, 'di ba? Or you rent out cars, 'di ba? Right now you can mga vehicle rentals, 'di ba? So or even yung jeepney, e-jeep, yung mga jeepney owners,
Right.
operators, 'di ba? That's considered as plan C because you're not the one driving, 'di ba? There are drivers who will be driving your vehicles for you. And then at the end of the day, they just remit to you the, ano ba tawag doon?
Boundary
The boundary,
or
yun. Or yung
right, the
rental for
right,
that
right,
vehicle, di ba? For
right,
properties naman, for real estate, they just rent, di ba? You just go there once a month to collect or better is they issue you PDCs or post-dated checks so you talagang no effort, di ba? That is a good plan C. So if you
right.
choose to go rental income as your plan C, then yung first phase of your plan C na build, build, build is again savings. You have to save, save, save for you to afford either a real property or a vehicle that you can have rented out. Tama ba, Sir Enrico?
Right. So again, it's a good steady source of passive. The downside though is it requires a lot of capitalization. So if you wanted to rent out units, condo units, you first have to buy the unit, right?
Correct.
Or you need to buy vehicles if you're planning to rent out your vehicles for somebody to drive it. When we say downside, or maybe we should just say disadvantage, is because not everybody has access to that much capital, right? So not everybody or the common person may have a hard time unless they inherited it, right, Eric? I mean, you inherited a
Yes,
building or then good on you. Just rent it out and you have passive income coming in, right?
correct. Yeah. Next is direct selling. What Sir Gabi mentioned, no, direct selling or networking or network marketing or multi-level marketing or MLM. Di ba?
Yes.
Now, what you can do again, if you choose to go the plan C via direct selling or networking model, is that yung first portion, yung build, is basically building your team. Because once you have enough no, na team members in your team, then you leverage in their effort and then you reach that level, di ba? May mga ranks yan sa direct selling or network marketing. You reach a certain rank wherein the passive income from that rank is already enough for you to retire, right? And you
Right.
can do that in 6 months, in 1 year. But again, if somebody's offering you a direct selling and you're not doing, they tell you that you won't do anything, just sit down. That's no no. Okay. In fact, I have an episode about how to choose the right direct selling company or how do you check if it's a legitimate direct selling company. You can search it
Right.
in my YouTube channel. So you can go to my YouTube channel and search how to choose the right direct selling company for yourself. Watch that so that you will know that there are really legitimate and legal, legit, no, direct selling companies that really work. No, there are a lot of stories, no, from waiters that became multimillionaires, mga bus conductors, di ba, that turned
Right.
multimillionaires, di ba? So, Sir Enrico, your story dito sa direct selling, since you have been no in this industry for a lot of years already. I won't mention ilang
Yes.
years. Sige, sir.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Eric. So let's be consistent. What's the disadvantage? Because we spoke of disadvantage in the first two. Disadvantage here is, not many people have ever been involved. And when they get involved, there's, first you need to select the right company. And then, you pray that the person that sponsored you is going to be a good coach or mentor. And number three, if it's your first time into business, then there's a lot of learning also. There's also a learning curve. Okay.
Mhm.
The advantage though is you can come in at very small capitalization.
Correct.
Okay. Provided you choose the right company and you build it properly. Because just like
Mhm.
any business, you have to build it properly. The disadvantage is most people have a negative perception of this industry, right, Eric? Most.
Mhm. Correct.
I'd say a majority are negative about it. They won't even
Yeah.
look,
We call
right?
them the Negatrons.
Or they've had a bad experience. I mean, because they weren't treated well, not really by the company, but more probably by the person that introduced them. So it's really just to keep things in balance because yeah, there are some people who have become allergic because of a bad experience, right? And some people
Mhm.
just don't like the idea. They feel it's hard sell, and again, that's not the nature of the industry. It's just some people have chosen to do it that way, right? And that's the general perception from outside.
Correct. Correct, no? And if you look at the three options so far, 'di ba? Big business and rental income will require you minimum maybe 1 million pesos, 'di ba? To get
Yep.
into that kind of plan C. But for direct selling, you can get in for less than 10,000 pesos, 'di ba?
Yes,
For
yes,
for
yes.
for that kind of plan C. Now, it's small, less than 10,000 pesos, pero after you get in, you really have to build, 'di ba? Build
Yes,
your team. Yun yung very
yes.
important. 'Di ba? It doesn't work na you just got in and then you do nothing. It will also not work if you do not
Correct,
work.
correct,
Yes. Now, what
correct.
else can be plan C? Okay. So, other passive income sources. So, if there are other passive income sources that you can think of that you can build no, in the beginning, then that can be your plan C. No, if you have other ideas, ano pa yung pwedeng maging passive income, please type them sa comment section sa Facebook or chat in YouTube. No, so the keyword really in plan C is passive income. As much as possible, look for other passive income sources. No? Like aside from rentals, you can also have mga subscribers, no? A subscription
Right,
model wherein people subscribe to you to avail of certain services, 'di ba? Like we have for example sa Infotext, we have an SMS subscription wherein you subscribe, no, and then yeah, they can use the system to send and receive SMS already, and that one halos passive income din kasi all we have to do is just monitor if the system is working or not. Di ba? So that's
Right.
another way of passive income. Yung iba
Yeah.
naman, they also have subscription ng food, ang meals actually. I have a client wherein their model naman is subscription for meals. So you pay a fixed amount and then they'll be
Okay.
the ones who will choose what meal for certain days. So and then they just deliver the food on a daily basis. You just subscribe a fixed amount, no? And those are all
Wow.
healthy meals, no? So you can think of a lot of things na similar to that. 'Di ba, Sir
Okay.
Enrico?
Yeah. Eric, on top of the keyword of passive, another key element in Plan C is the ability to leverage. Okay. Leverage on other people's time and money. Okay.
Mm,
Because that's what really allows you to have that freedom. Because if you can't
yes.
multiply the efforts or to leverage, then
Mm,
you can't also distance yourself. And that's like a franchisor. They can eventually do that when they have franchisees, right?
correct,
So you can literally have the system work. So leverage is the key word as well. Can you
correct.
produce leveraged income, right?
Yes, correct. Leverage as
So
well, no, as Sir Enrico mentioned, no, the leverage from the time and effort of other people. It's like having your own big business and hiring people for you, di ba? So
right,
if you're on plan C, you have a big business, you hire people, that's their plan A. Now, if you look at the big picture naman, that means if you're on plan A, you are employed. That means you are working for somebody's plan C.
yes,
'Di ba?
yes,
So it's
yes,
either you have a choice. Do you want to work for somebody's plan C or is it time for you to work on your own plan C?
right.
'Di ba?
You know this, Eric. We have a saying: Are you working for your own dream, or are you working for somebody else's dream?
Correct.
Right. And that's
Yes.
why employment can be very comfortable because, like you mentioned, the plan A is you just show yourself to work, there's a joke. A job is just over broke, and you just do
Mhm.
enough for you not to get fired. Okay. Well,
Oo.
for some, that's, what they try to do. So nobody will work more passionately than the person that owns the company, of course, because if you're an
Yes.
employee, that's you're just building somebody else's dream, right?
Correct.
And some may
Correct.
say, no, but I want to rise up the ranks. Yes, of course you can. That might be your dream, and that's fine. Well, again, we're not saying it's wrong. It's just that you never ever get to leverage. That to me is the real key word, Eric. Leverage,
Leverage.
right?
Ayan.
Leverage,
So,
right?
Sir Enrico, what are your takeaways for our topic today? And by the way, sa ating mga viewers, you can also type in the comment section or chat what are your takeaways for our topic today.
Well, to me, the biggest takeaway has been based on my experience. I got very programmed to spend many years in Plan A. And again, it was a wonderful journey. I was comfortable. But of course, like we just discussed, I couldn't have the freedom, right? Plan B was big. It's for some people, it's a big jump because, yeah, obviously they got used to Plan A. But really, my takeaway is look at ways to create leverage wealth. And that could be a plan B or a plan C. And within plan C, there are many choices. If you can leverage off other people's time and money, okay, what that doesn't mean they don't benefit. That means you benefit and they benefit jointly or mutually.
Yes.
Then that's what will give you the freedom to do what you want, right? So have that paradigm shift, if you will. How do you really create your wealth? Maybe it's time for you to think about leveraged income. That's my takeaway.
Correct. Ayan. Sharon is also watching us, Sir Enrico. Thank you po for
Oh,
watching.
Sharon,
My
thank
better
you.
half. Yes.
Yes,
And katulong ko lagi yan sa aming plan A, B, and C.
for
Kaya
sure.
hati-hati ng tasks and roles, no? Save time.
For
Ayan.
sure.
Always a team. Ayan. So, sa ating mga viewers, what are your takeaways? Comment below.
Right.
Ayan.
Yes.
And chat sa YouTube. Okay. So next week, our next episode is about wealth creation model for everyone. Ayan. So Sir Enrico, konting intro about this next topic next week.
Right. Related to what we were just talking about, we will talk about the different approaches to how do you create wealth, especially in our world where there is so much inequality. It's really ironic. I'll share some statistics there. We have created so much wealth in the last 2 decades because of innovation, all the wonderful things. Ironically, the inequality in income has gotten bigger. The gap,
Mm-hmm.
it has gotten bigger. In fact, in one publication, they were saying it's much easier to become a billionaire than it is to become a millionaire.
Wow.
Right, because few people are reaping the benefits, and we know these people, but yet the masses, okay, that gap is getting bigger and bigger. So
Mm-hmm.
it's the equality, right? What can we do that could be for everyone? And this is linked to what we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Nice. Ayan. Magnus said, very good session. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Magnus, for
Thank
joining.
you, Magnus. Thank you very much.
Ayan. So let's end our webinar with our usual panatang makabayan. So let's raise our right hand and bigkasin ang panatang makabayan.
For our
Iniibig
foreign,
ko ang Pilipinas, aking lupang sinilangan, tahanan ng aking lahi. Kinukupkop ako at tinutulungan upang maging malakas, masipag at marangal. Dahil mahal ko ang Pilipinas, diringgin ko ang payo ng aking mga magulang. Susundin ko ang tuntunin ng lipunan. Tutuparin ko ang tungkulin ng mamamayang makabayan, naglilingkod, nag-aaral at nagdarasal ng buong katapatan. Iaalay ko ang aking buhay, pangarap at pagsisikap sa bansang Pilipinas. Maraming salamat po. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, for
thank you.
joining us. We'll see you again next Saturday